Welcome to the Gut Show. I'm Erin Judge, registered dietitian and founder of Gutivate, and I will be your host. My goal on this side of the internet is to empower those with IBS and digestive disorders to understand their guts better, to have a healthier relationship with their bodies, and make confident choices to improve their digestive health. During this season of the Gut Show, you can expect a weekly conversation covering a hot topic related to health, digestion, and IBS. As a disclaimer, I am a dietitian, but I'm not your personal dietitian. Everything we cover in this episode is meant to be educational and not a substitute for personalized care from your healthcare team. Welcome, and let's dive into today's episode. Today's episode is one that can be a little challenging. It's one that I found challenging throughout my journey as a human being, a woman, going through different stages of puberty and understanding myself, but also someone living with IBS. This is something that I see a lot of my clients struggling with, and that is body image. So what is body image? Your body image is the way that you perceive, think, and feel about your physical appearance and the way that your body exists in the world. This can include the perceptions, attitudes, beliefs, and feelings about body size, shape, and overall appearance. It can also include how you think about your body from a worthiness standpoint and even how your body functions in the world. So thinking about that, with IBS and with any chronic health condition or disorder, there can be an altered body image, both from what you see, but also what you feel and experience in your body, which can be less talked about in the world that we live in, the culture of social media, places where people are talking more freely about body image. Oftentimes that is more about what you see and the appearance for your body, a lot less about what you feel and how your body exists in the world from a function standpoint. So it's a really interesting topic that we get to dive into. So whenever we're thinking about body image, it could be considered positive or negative. Likely this is more of a big, long spectrum, right? Where something may be not so helpful or what we consider quote unquote negative, and then helpful, positive, affirming, whatever it may be. Like there's more of a spectrum. Rarely is how your thoughts or your behaviors or what you're thinking, how you're talking to yourself, rarely is that manifestation of your body image solely positive or negative. But that's usually how we think about it. Positive body image, and that more positive side of the spectrum, can refer to having more of a healthy and a balanced perspective of your body and feeling comfortable and confident in your own skin. So a sign of, positive body image or healthy body image would be feeling confident in yourself, feeling confident in being who you are, showing up as yourself, being comfortable in your own skin and who you are. This has to also include awareness of your body and how it functions. Rarely is, healthy, positive body image this absence of honesty and awareness, because you have to also accept your body for what it is and how it is in the world, and how it is for your life, and how it is day to day. You have to have an acceptance when it comes to healthy, positive body image. Doesn't mean you love everything about your body. It doesn't mean that you think your body's the best thing in the world. It means that you have a radical acceptance of your body, an awareness of your body to feel confident and comfortable in yourself and in the body that you're in. On the other hand, this negative or kind of unhealthy body image refers to having a distorted, critical, or unhappy view of your body, leading to feelings of self-consciousness, shame, or an even body dysmorphia. So body dysmorphia is more of an extreme kind of severe state where what you see and what you feel are very different. And so you can act on what you feel and it be different than what you see. And we see this a lot in eating disorders and also in chronic conditions where the appearance or the function of the body is altered. And so you see something that it's not what you feel. And it may be that what you see is more what you want and what you feel is not, or vice versa, or maybe what you feel is what you want, but what you see is completely different. And so it's hard to know, like, to feel at home or feel like you're present in your body. That would be that body dysmorphia. So that is what we see kind of on more of that severe side of that spectrum. It is very normal to fluctuate on the spectrum between this kind of positive, healthy body image and this negative or unhealthy body image. This is where the awareness and the connection to your body, but also to these thoughts, these perceptions, these beliefs, and this language towards yourself, the awareness of that is really important to kind of understand where you're at and what's going on, and where you may need to realign, support, give yourself grace, have some patience, where you need to give to yourself based on where you're at. It's also very normal to have more of the positive, healthy body image, but also desire changes or improvements to how your body exists. And that could be how your body looks. It is normal to have positive body image and you wear makeup, or positive body image, and maybe you do want to alter the way that your body composition is. That can still be healthy. It's also healthy to have this radical acceptance and confidence and comfort in your body with, let's say, IBS or a condition, and also still desire to manage that condition and improve your health and your well-being and how your body's existing and functioning. So it's possible to have both. It's also possible to not desire change and be on the other side. So those can be kind of opposite of one another in some ways, where it's not just about the body image, where that being healthy means that these things are okay. It's also not that those things are signs that the body image is off. So we have to think deeper than just how we are responding to things in our life, which can also be missed often on social media. We do know, though, that sometimes body image concerns can manifest as an obsession with some of these changes. So we could see an obsession with wanting to lose weight or gaining muscle or achieving a certain physical appearance, maybe even getting, facial reconstruction, or different plastic surgeries or different types of treatments. You may see a lot of that. Those can be signs and manifestations of poor body image. This can also lead to disordered eating and eating disorders. Again, some of the more the severe sides of body image and an unhealthy body image are big precursors to eating disorders, because there's that desire to be thinner or to change the body, and especially that body dysmorphia, where what you feel is not what you see, and there can be a desire to control what you see a little bit more. Often these concerns are driven by the need to conform to maybe societal beauty standards. That's something we see in a big way. It used to be, what celebrities looked like. Now with filters and all these things on social media and the rise of showing up in a certain way on social media, and that's what we consume, that can lead to wanting to change who we are because of what we see, which can be really damaging and unhealthy. But it can also be, exacerbated by just kind of constantly being exposed to these ideal images in the media in any way. So it's important to understand where your body image is at, but also what's fueling it, what's feeding into it, what's giving you that belief of what you should look like or what things should be like. Because in some ways that can be healthy, where you realize, oh, this is how my body should function. But in other ways it could be unhealthy, like comparing yourself to a filter, or comparing yourself to somebody who, genetically you would never look like in any way, or maybe they don't even look like, because they're using, all of these kind of different positionings of their body through social media, or again, the filters or the editing of the images themselves to look a certain way that they actually don't. But then that's what you think you should look like because that's what you're seeing. On another level, people who are experiencing chronic health conditions may experience physical changes to their body as a result of their condition. And this might look like weight gain or weight loss, scars, mobility issues, changes that change every day, like bloating, what we see a lot with IBS. These physical changes can greatly impact your body image and the perception of your body, which might lead to more self-consciousness, embarrassment, and even shame. So sometimes there is this actual change to your body that leads you like further down that spectrum, versus even just the ideas that other people put on you. It's like just the changes that you didn't necessarily ask for. We see this a lot with people who go through cancer treatment, right? Where maybe you lose your hair and or someone who goes through a car wreck and then loses an arm or a leg, or something happens where the body that you see is now different than what it was before, that can kind of put you down that spiral towards unhealthy body image, which leads to, further unhealthy behaviors in response to that body image, which can be really hard to come back from. We also know that those with chronic health conditions, especially, functional gut disorders like IBS, do experience changes in terms of physical capability. So that could be difficulties with their daily activities, maybe difficulties with exercise. You see this in immune conditions or things like POTS, which are showing up more, where people are fainting or they get out of breath real easy. Asthma, not being able to breathe when you're exercising. Those are big changes in how your body's functioning. Sexual function is a huge one. Being able to produce a bowel movement is a big one that we see in IBS, or overproducing bowel movements, not being able to hold in that urgency of needing to go to the bathroom. Those are all things that can change. And what can happen is that, these changes in how your body's functioning lead to feelings of this, frustration with your body, disappointment in your body, distrust in your body, and a negative reflection and perception. So this negative body image about how your body exists and how it functions and its worthiness, even compared to others, right? Why can't it be normal? Why can't I just function like everyone else? What is wrong with me? My body's broken. What is happening? My body doesn't work right. All of those statements are signs that your body function is influencing the way that you perceive your body and you feel about your body and the way you talk about your body. So with IBS specifically, and again, this can happen with any condition that's out there, these types of symptoms that people are experiencing really do make you feel like your body is broken or that your body is wrong, right? Something is wrong with your body. It may even feel like your body is ugly. I've heard people say, my body is dirty, my body is gross because of these things that I'm going through. Those are all kind of symptoms of this altered body image and this unhealthy body image that can feel a lot like your body's working against you. You may feel like you're at war with your body, and that creates just more tension and strain on your body image. So not only can that be a symptom, but it also can then feed back into the strain. So it's like you go down that spectrum, and there's that interwoven relationship where you go down the spectrum, body image is altered, maybe due to something completely different, and you have symptoms present, pushes your body image kind of back down. And then that cycle continues, right? Where then you feel like you're against so much weight to try to get back towards like a healthy state. There's so many layers of, influence over your body image that have been built up based on these other external inputs that we're all facing, but also what your condition is kind of putting on you as well. In addition to these physical changes that people experience with chronic health conditions, we also know that many people who live with chronic health conditions, and we know this specifically with IBS too, is that they experience anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues, concerns, changes. These can all impact body image. So for an example, if you have depression, this can lead to lack of motivation to take care of yourself, which can then lead to negative body image for what you see and feel in yourself, right? Think about the last time that you didn't take a shower for a few days. Maybe the first day doesn't feel like much, right? But if you aren't really taking a shower, you haven't changed your clothes, like it's hard to feel good in your body. You probably don't like what you see, but you also don't like what you feel. Those who live with things like depression or even anxiety that kind of get in the way of them being able to take care of themselves can have this, again, greater impact. It's like another big brick and layer on how they feel about themselves. And then being able to just push through that isn't possible because of the mental health piece, right? And what's going on there. And so it can leave you feeling kind of deeper down that spectrum with a lot more weight to try to get back up. Now, it is important when we're thinking about that, because it can be easy to say, oh, well, especially if your body image and how you feel about yourself isn't great right now, it's easy to say, okay, well, it's my fault, right? Because I'm putting this weight on myself. I'm consuming what is given to me in the media. I am dealing, I'm not taking care of myself. I am talking to myself poorly. Like you may think about that and say, well, I'm putting all those bricks and layers on top of me. But we do have to know and be really intentional about saying that many people who live with chronic health conditions are also accompanied by a lack of access to adequate medical care. And that may be a lack of access in terms of cost, a lack of access in terms of location, or a lack of access in terms of good health providers that are providing good quality care. So you may actually have the money and the time and the people there, but the people themselves are not providing good care. That's really common. There's also a lack of representation in media for people living with chronic health conditions, and that can lead to us not knowing what it looks like, right, to live with chronic health issues. Like we don't know because we don't see it portrayed in others. We don't hear people talking about it. People may not be as open about it. Social media has opened up doors for this in a lot of ways, but there's still a long way for this to go. And so if you haven't seen someone else living with a chronic health condition in a way that reflects a healthy body image with that, you may not even know that that's possible or know how to mirror that, or you may not have that influence, right? That more positive influence in how you think about yourself. And so that's something that has been put against you that isn't your fault at all. It's just something that's against you. This can all lead to feelings of isolation and invisibility, which then just further exacerbate your body image. And again, puts you kind of down that spectrum with more weight to try to get back up. So what can you do about it? If you know that your body image has been impacted by, different parts of your life, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like we do need to know, what's contributing, but it's also just good to be aware that where you're at is probably not the healthiest place, right? You don't have a good perception of yourself. You don't feel comfortable in your body, in your skin. You don't feel confident in how your body exists. You don't have that acceptance piece of, okay, I accept my body where it is right now as I work to change it or improve it or whatever I'm doing. If that's where you're at right now, there are things that you can start to do. And number one is practice self-compassion. So self-compassion means being kind and understanding towards yourself rather than criticizing or judging yourself. And developing this practice can really help you learn that acceptance and have tools for, again, climbing back up towards a more positive body image place. So it's how you deal with the things that aren't great. How do you deal with when you do something not good, right? And you start to judge yourself for that? Or how do you deal with when your body does betray you and you have symptoms, right? What do you do about that? Self-compassion is a great practice. And the book Self-Compassion by Kristen Neff is phenomenal and a good resource. The second thing that you can do is stop comparing yourself to others. Very hard, much easier said than done, but be intentional about stopping the comparison. We know that every single person's body is unique, and it's important to focus on your own health and well-being rather than others. And so be intentional about looking for spaces where you are comparing and do what you can to cut it off. That may mean that, if you're comparing yourself to someone on social media, maybe you snooze them or block them or unfollow them for a short period of time. And you can make a note somewhere like, maybe I'll come back to this person later, because it's not really against them, right? It's because of something that you need. Maybe it's you're comparing yourself to someone on a TV show. You stop watching that show for a little bit if you need to. Or maybe you just verbally come in and say, Erin, stop comparing yourself. Like, your body is unique. They are not you. You don't know everything about them. And it is not helpful for us moving forward to compare ourselves. Like, maybe you verbally stop yourself. Do whatever you need to do to stop comparing yourself. And it's not going to be perfect. That's okay. Even if you bring down the comparison level by 50%, you're already going to see a dramatic increase in your own body image and how you feel about yourself, and you'll grow your confidence. But it does take intention and it takes action. It's not something that just happens because you say, oh, I'm not going to compare myself anymore. It's a little bit more actionable than that. The third thing is focus on the positive. So this sounds cheesy, but instead of focusing on the things that you don't like, the things that you perceive as being a flaw or an imperfection in your body and in yourself, try to focus on what you do like, or the good things about your body. And that could be your strength, your capabilities. It could be things physically that you like about yourself. It doesn't have to be one thing. It doesn't only have to be physical. It doesn't only have to be your personality or your work ethic or whatever it may be. But find as many things that you can that you're like, you know what, this is actually a good thing. This is a highlight of my body. And what we're trying to do here is not mask what we perceive as being a flaw or what we don't like, but we're holding space for both, because the things that you think are flaws or that you don't like, those are already really loud, right? We don't have to bring extra focus to those for us to be acknowledging that they're there. We know that. But what we tend to not do is allow there to be time to focus on the things that we like, or the good things, right, about our bodies and what they do. And it might even just be that we breathe, or that your heart is beating. Like, you can get so kind of detailed there. The ability that you can blink your eyes, the ability that you can move your fingers, like, get as detailed as you can. And the more you can build up those good things and say them, bring focus to them, hold space for them, the louder that the positive is going to get than the negative. And sometimes that alone can make that negative, it's still there, but it kind of goes a little bit smaller, to where instead of that being all we see, we actually see these amazing things, and the body image piece can go up. And then those flaws, like, they just kind of get a little quieter and less of a focus, right? It's less of what you begin to see, which can be really important. And again, that is very actionable. You have to write those things out. Putting them on a mirror is really helpful. So that's often where that body image gets triggered. Maybe for you, it's in the bathroom. Maybe for you, it's in your closet. Find those spaces where you notice that you're triggered the most, or you feel your body image come down, or you feel those kind of flaws and things like get loud. Write it down so that you can go and instead say the things that are good, that you like, that are positives, I guess, about yourself. Another thing that you can do is engage in regular physical activity. So this seems almost counterintuitive in some ways, right? Because if you're used to exercising to punish your body, only exercising to make your body smaller, only exercising to look a certain way, then this may seem like it doesn't line up, right? But what we know is that regular exercise can actually improve physical health, yes, but it can also boost self-esteem and body image by connecting in a positive way to your body. You do have to be intentional about making sure that the motivation behind the exercise is shifted. So instead of going into, okay, I'm going to do this one exercise because it's going to help me lose weight, what if we shifted it to, okay, what exercise is going to help me really connect to my breath today? What exercise is going to help me really connect to my muscles? Like, I want to feel my muscles. I want to feel my strength. I want to increase maybe my weight to feel how strong I'm becoming. What's going to help me really connect to the way that my body is moving? That's what you want to look at. What's going to make me feel good today in my body? Maybe it is a walk instead of a run, because in the run, maybe I'm trying to burn more calories, but the walk is something that's going to help me really connect to my environment, go slow, listen to my favorite podcast, just enjoy my time, right? That's going to help have a positive experience with your body, which is going to help boost your self-esteem. Mind body exercise can also be really helpful here, just because there is a deeper focus on connection to parts of your body, alignment, breath. And so that can be a great place to start if you're not really sure where to begin, and just be really intentional as you are exercising, that what is feeding into you during that exercise. So if you were taking a class, maybe the instructor, the music that you listen to, that online, YouTube channel that you follow, make sure that what they're saying is reinforcing the positive, healthy side of body image, and not the other side. If you feel yourself slipping down that spectrum, just visualizing it, if you feel yourself slipping down, red flag. That's not the place to be, because it's not going to help improve how you perceive yourself and feel about yourself, which is where you're going to get the most benefit in your movement. Another thing to do, kind of along those same lines, is surround yourself with positive role models, or those who look like you and are living with confidence, right? Whenever you surround people who have a positive, healthy body image and are experiencing their body and living in their body in a confident way, and their body looks like you, or maybe even just looks different, and there's a diversity around you, that can help give you inspiration, but also change that input, which is going to help influence what you see in yourself, right? And so that may be the people that you follow on social media. It's a great place to start, but also the environment around you. Like, find yourself in different environments that are diverse, or also are like you in some ways, not just the environments that look like what you think should be ideal, right? Really, I kind of be intentional about what inputs you're putting in terms of the people that are around you and how they're living. And you will likely be around people who are also trying to improve their own body image, and that's great. You're going to find encouragement there, but it's also good to look at people who maybe are further along on that spectrum, because that's going to give you some motivation and energy, right, towards you working in that direction too. And then, of course, seek professional help. If you find yourself really struggling, or if you notice that your body image and how you're feeling, looking, talking to yourself if that's affecting your mental health, if that's affecting your quality of life, if you can't see any way out, you feel like there's despair, if it's contributing to self-harm and kind of those self-sabotage type behaviors, a therapist or a psychiatrist, if that's what you need, a psychologist, can be so helpful. And so looking for someone who specializes in body image, and especially if you are, also living with a chronic health condition and that's impacting you, maybe looking for someone who has experience with that overlap that can help listen to you, help you work through some of those thoughts and what's going on, what those inputs are, right? What those barriers are, those things that you're kind of working against, and then tools to actually get through it. Someone who has more specialty is going to help you with that, and also just help you not feel so alone in the journey if you are feeling kind of isolated and stuck. That is the benefit. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Body image is something that we have to talk about because we all experience different variations of this, and we're all on the spectrum and kind of going between the two polar sides of the spectrum every single day. And so the more that we talk about it and bring awareness to it and normalize the fact that we are kind of floating on the spectrum, and it's okay to be on one end right now and be working towards a healthier place, and know that that's not going to be linear. It's going to be up and down, and it might be messy, and that's where self-compassion really comes into play, but also just community, and that it's okay. That's part of the human experience, and that's what we're doing in this world together, just all with different kind of weights against us and influences and experiences behind us that are impacting where we're at and how we move forward. So I hope you enjoyed this. I would love to hear your thoughts either through our Facebook community, the Gut Community, or on Instagram. All of that information is in the show notes if you want to tag me or reach out and share what you took away. And of course, leaving a review is always appreciated if you found this helpful and encouraging wherever you are today. But next week, we are going to dive deeper into trauma, which will be very exciting. It's a hot topic when it comes to IBS and gut health and just, the body's experience with health that follows trauma and traumatic experiences, as well as how health and things in your health and health conditions can be traumatic and show up later in your life as this almost like trauma response. And so very interesting topic. I can't wait to dive into it with you. So I will meet you here again next week to talk all about it. Do you want to keep learning from me in bite-sized pieces, as well as even be able to ask me questions and get those answered? If that is true, then you should follow me on social media so that you can learn from myself, but also my incredible team. You can find us on Instagram at erinjudge.rd or at Gutivate. You can also find us at TikTok, same name. And then you can also find us, if you're not already on YouTube for longer and shorter videos than the one that you listened to today. And if you're someone who really does enjoy compiled information from different brands we trust and different recipes that we enjoy, then you can also follow us on Pinterest, where you can see our own boards, but also the boards that we have been able to compile other great IBS friendly links and resources for you.